Welcome back everyone, thanks for tuning in to another video review, and it has been a long time since I've been able to review a new Gentle Giant piece, but here we have the brand new web direct Bib Fortuna from Star Wars Episode 6, Return of the Jedi. Now, Bib Fortuna is a character that we have not seen yet produced from Gentle Giant, and it is a character that has been requested over the years, and we finally had that announcement. I believe San Diego Comic-Con 2017 or 16. I can't quite remember if we had the announcement this year, but nonetheless, when we did get that announcement, all the fans were super happy about it and super excited to see not only a new character, but another character from the original trilogy that we weren't able to get before in the Gentle Giant Star Wars line. And ever since the new movies have been coming out, there's been somewhat of a focus on those pieces, but the correlation with the regular bust to classic bust, some fans haven't been happy. Personally, I wish a lot of the classic busts were created as regular busts, such as the Snowtrooper. I am not sure why the First Order Snowtrooper was not created as a regular bust and only a classic bust, while we did get the First Order Stormtrooper and Flame Trooper. But nonetheless, here we are with Bib Fortuna, and let's get right into the review. So as normal, let me get a look at the box first. And here we have the Gentle Giant box, and if you have been collecting Gentle Giant, you will notice that the boxes have gotten significantly smaller. Not that the pieces themselves have become smaller, because they still are 1/6 scale pieces, and they are pretty heavy, but the boxes still have the same foam inserts that protect it, and they do have smaller outer packaging to be able to ship for a cheaper amount. So looking at the box, we do have a picture of the mini bust up front. In the bottom we do see the Star Wars logo with Bib Fortuna and the Gentle Giant logo. And at the top, Gentle Giant Web Direct. Just flipping it around, we have another angle of the piece. And on the back we have the first scene I believe we saw Bib Fortuna in from Return of the Jedi, when he encounters C-3PO and R2-D2 entering Jabba's palace. And here is a short bio. Let me go ahead and zoom in and focus on that. So if you'd like to pause and read that, you can go ahead. The bottom we do have the numbering. This is number 462 out of 750, so not a huge lot. And I did forget to take out the COA, so let me grab that right now. And here is the COA as well, again 462 out of 750, and just a picture of the mini bust right there. So now let's get a closer look at Bib Fortuna himself. Now, I really love how they were able to capture another, character that they are essentially going off of digital files, because it's not like human characters that they can bring in and scan their faces and whatnot. These are all, taken from the film. And taking a look at the image from the scene, let me just move that in here for comparison. They did a pretty great job. Now, I know that scene is in Jabba's palace and it's dark, so there's not much lighting. And the only other time I believe we've seen Bib Fortuna is in Episode 1, again with Jabba when he was watching the pod race, and there he looked pretty light, he looked almost pale. But in Episode 6, he does seem darker, so I'm not sure if that is from, lighting or in CGI, or he did get darker over the years, but the detail is still incredible. You do see they were able to capture a lot of the veins along here that you can kind of tell when you look closely at here, but it's more so like wrinkles and all that, and you can kind of feel the texture, which is really cool. He does have a pretty interesting texture even on the mini bust itself, and you can see the little indents right there. Let me get that back into focus as well. You can see, the little folds and indents from the skin, and the head piece wraps around all the way in the back. Or actually, the two tentacles, I should say, that wrap around. Get that in the back right there. And, he has that iconic pose, sticking his hand out, and this is a phenomenal piece. It's a, one of those infamous characters that people seem to love, even though he's not in the films too much. Taking a look at the close-up on the face, there's a fantastic job on the eyes, getting those red beaming eyes in there. And in the scene, they do kind of seem a little bit more orange. And looking at the camera, they do appear a little bit more red in the camera than they are in real life. In real life, they are more more orange. Yeah, they definitely are more orange. So you know, when you do watch the video, if it does look a little bit more red, don't worry, they are definitely more orange in real life. The teeth just look phenomenal here. Let me get a close-up of that. And they did a great job with the pose, or the expression as well. A lot of times the human characters kind of have a very generic face because they can't exactly scan a certain, you know, look to them. But with this being sculpted from, I'm assuming, the digital files and the just looking at the screen accurate depictions, you know, they did a really great job at capturing that essence of who Bib Fortuna is. Now let's get a look at the rest of the body as well. He has his garment on, and that's also something that, you know, you can't always capture, or you can't always see in the movie as a fan, even if you've watched the special editions and re-releases and enhanced versions. You know, it could be something that you don't pay attention to. I never noticed he had the blue sleeves right here, or the blue undergarment and the blue belt right there, but Gentle Giant was able to capture that so well, and it's a very subtle navy blue that goes very well with the brown, and you can see some of the blue reflections in some of the pieces of the outfit as well. And even the detail on something so small, even the detail on the fingernails is absolutely incredible. You know, they are pretty dirty and menacing, like a witch, and, you know, sharp at the end. They are actually pretty sharp, so do be careful with that. Be careful not to hit it or anything as well. And getting into the close-up of the rest of the body right there. Try to get a focus on those hands again. And there's just so much little detail that you just don't always notice until you get a close-up view of it, like all the little dirty marks in the hands and the different creases and whatnot, and just the way the sculptors are able to produce this piece to look like, you know, there's movement in the clothing. It's, you know, it's not just a flat piece of cloak or robe that goes on. There's actually all the creases and whatnot that go through it to look, you know, make it more of somewhat of an action pose, so to speak. And looking at the back, we just see the robe touches to the ground. And taking a look at the bottom, again, the logo for Gentle Giant and the edition number with Web Direct. Now, these were available first to PGM members, and I am a PGM member, so I was able to order this and receive it right away. I received it about 2 days after ordering, because Gentle Giant was able to obtain the packages just as they were available. So if they are still available and this is a piece and a character you need in your collection, I highly recommend it. We are definitely and hopefully going to see more original trilogy characters come out from the Gentle Giant mini bust line, because it's definitely something that a lot of fans still collect and still want to see more pieces come out of. But I have to say, this is another phenomenal piece from Gentle Giant, and, you know, I applaud them once again for creating a absolutely stunning piece, and even at the price point, it's completely worth it for a collector, especially a Star Wars fan like myself. And I hope to, you know, still add the Gamorrean Guard and the Luke Skywalker and Jedi, or the black robe from Episode 6. As you can see in the background, I do have the Bush, Leia and Bush disguise from Episode 6, and then just the Jawas that aren't really from a certain episode, and then Boba Fett, which I believe that was from, it might have been 5 or 6, I can't quite remember, but that was the San Diego Comic-Con exclusive as well. But nonetheless, you know, I am super happy with this piece. If you have any questions about it, feel free to leave them below in the comments. Be sure to follow and subscribe all my pages, and visit Gentle Giant's website to see more pieces that they have available. And happy collecting, and thank you for watching, and stay tuned for the next video review.